Hello and welcome to another episode of It's Time to Rewind. We are on the eighth season, which is times 12, and this is the first part of the eighth season where we are covering the video game 12 minutes, a couple loops at a time. And joining me during this entire first segment is my co-host, Jason Soto. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful. I am fantastic.
That is great. And yeah, we are, still making our way through 12 minutes. And, you you let me know, um, right before we started recording that you actually got to an ending. So I'm excited to
Yes.
hear about that. We got our first ending.
Yes. Okay, so I guess obviously spoilers. Um, because and I'm gonna stress again that this is an ending. I don't know if this is a true ending. I don't know what ending of what I got. It feels like a pretty happy ending, but I don't know. We'll I guess we'll have to judge accordingly. But what I started with, I remember you said something about the picture on the fridge.
Mhm.
And I remember something about the wife being accused of murder.
Yeah.
And I remember something about um or maybe I figured this out. I can't remember, but I think the picture is supposed to prove she didn't murder the dad. So I went and grabbed the picture. I went and got the watch. I went and called the cop's daughter because I remember one time when I went to call after I called because remember when I knocked out the cop and I took his
Mhm.
phone, there was the option to call his daughter, which he calls Bumblebee, I think.
Bumblebee. Yeah.
Yeah. So then when I took the phone in the closet, one of the things said call Bumblebee. So I was wondering, okay, so is she supposed to stop the cop from showing up? So after I got the photo and the watch, I went called Bumblebee, and it just went on its own in a whole dialogue of like, hey, you got to tell your dad to not come arrest us. He's gonna come hurt us. He thinks, and what's funny is like our character just keeps saying like he's going to hurt her and he's gonna hurt me, and the daughter's like, who are you? Like what? And then eventually it goes, is this a prank? And then he's really trying to convince her, like, no, 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 we're in danger. Your dad's gonna come and try to kill us. And he thinks, we're murderers, but we're not. And so then the daughter says, okay, I'll tell him, but I need you to lose my phone number. And she hangs she hangs up. So then I went to the wife and uh I made the mistake of giving her the picture and the watch because I gave her the picture first and then it went to this whole thing about you didn't murder your dad. And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "I know your dad got killed, but he didn't get killed and or you didn't kill him and this picture's gonna prove you didn't do it." And then she says, "Well, I shot him on Christmas Eve." And then she goes into a story about how he was having an affair with the nanny. The wife's mom finds out about it. She gets upset and she leaves. The wife got upset to the point where she pulled a gun on him, shot him, and then she left. But then he died on New Year's Eve. And then there was a picture that proves that she wasn't at the house on New Year's Eve when the dad died. So somebody came and killed the dad a week later.
Hmm.
So then as that dialogue is happening, you can hear the cop outside the hallway because you hear the elevator and then you hear the phone ring. And then you hear him saying, "Oh, hey, hey, honey, what's going on? Wait, who called you? What? I think it's a prank call. Okay, I'll tell them." And then they knock on the door. So then you open the door. He basically starts first confronting you, like, "Put your hands behind your back. I'm arresting you." But then you say, "No, wait, wait, wait. She didn't do it. We have proof." And then the wife says, "Here's a picture of me on New Year's Eve, when he was found dead." And the cop doesn't believe you because he's like, he thinks you faked the photograph. And she even
Okay.
says, "You can't fake a Polaroid. How you fake a Polaroid?" And he's like, "I don't know. Like, I don't know how you do it, but you did it." And the only way that you can convince him is with the watch. But I gave her the watch, has proof of the time looping thing.
Hmm.
And so he then tied her up, and she's like, "Okay, stop it, stop it. I'll give you the watch. It's on me, it's on me." But then I get involved and he starts punching me, and then that sends me back to the loop. And I'm like, okay. So then I did all of that again, like all in the same order.
Hmm.
Um, and it got to the part where this time I didn't give her to watch because
Okay.
new dialogue stuff opened up. Because now it went to, "I know what happened to your dad. This happened. You shot him on Christmas Eve, but you were here on New Year's Eve." And she then says, "Yes, that's all true." And she talks about the watch because you can ask, "Why did you steal the watch?" And she says, "I don't know. I just wanted something to remember him by." And then the next thing you can ask is, "Well, why, or what were you going to do with the watch?" And that's when she says, "I was going to sell it for the baby. I'm pregnant and we need money for the baby. I was going to sell the watch." And then you kind of go along the same dialogue stuff about the murder and the dad stuff to figure that out. And then the cop shows up. This time I let him and her talk. He starts to believe her, and then hang on, I might be getting my things mixed up here. Yeah, he believes her, and then he admits that his daughter, the Bumblebee character, has cancer, and
Okay.
he needs to pay for the cancer treatments. And if he had the watch, he could pay for the cancer treatments. And so I proceed to give him the watch, and he refuses to take it, and he just kind of runs out of the apartment after that, and she runs after him, and then nothing happened for a minute, and I'm like, "Gosh." So I left the apartment, third loop. I'm going through everything, and I'm mimicking down. And what I'm realizing is happening now is I either skipped over earlier dialogue options, or it's presenting me with new stuff that I didn't see before or something. Because
Hmm.
all that was happening was just giving me new dialogue options about the dad. So everything played pretty much the same as the second loop, but I was getting more information about the dad. And this third time was about the okay, everyone, you have to bear with me on this. There's a lot of he's and she's in this. The dad had an affair with the nanny. The nanny got pregnant. That's how the mom found out. The mom left. Our wife shoots the dad. The nanny ends up giving birth to a kid. And then that's supposed to open up a dialogue of who the actual murderer is. But then the cop shows up. And then that dialogue happens about the watch, cancer, blah, blah, blah. So then they leave. And I'm like, "Fuck me." Like, okay, so we gotta solve the murder. Okay, cool. The half a loop was the murderer. We end up using the watch. We hold on to the watch this time. We don't give it to the
Okay.
cop, but he still talks to her and believes her about, her not murdering the dad. They bond and they leave. We use the watch to go back in time. We find out none of this is real. The wife is a figment of our imagination. We actually shot our father because we were in love with the daughter of the nanny who ends up being our half sister.
Okay.
And so we're using her as a coping mechanism to deal with this. We then come back to the present day where now the apartment is empty, no sign of the wife existing. And we get like, I heard the last thing I heard was the dad saying, "You got to stop all this imaginary stuff." And then the game ended.
Interesting. I
I
would have
didn't,
not expected
I had
it to go that
no
way.
fucking clue that's where that was going. So again, that's an ending. I don't know if that's the true ending, but I got an ending.
Yeah, I would not have expected that. Yeah, my my loops were a little bit less
Probably
productive.
normal.
Yeah, like and it's funny because I was kind of getting frustrated because I kind of feel like I'm at the point where I should be able to get to kind of where you are with the ending because I
Mm.
kind of feel like I have all the pieces, but well, I'm still missing some of like the cops pieces because like I don't have Bumblebee's number
Oh, okay.
because he's never um he's never passed out from the shock from the electric shock.
Okay. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, and I feel like I kept making mistakes on mine too. So that kind of I do think that I got some interesting things going on, but so on my first loop, I was trying to get some more dialogue options by convincing the wife that I'm in a time loop, and so I go and I grab the present, and then I go for the pocket watch, but I didn't shut the bathroom door whenever I went to get for the pocket watch,
Oh, that's
and so
important. Yeah.
and so I was opening the vents in there, and the wife is like, "What are you doing? Why are you digging in the vent? You don't there like you're gonna ruin our deposits. There's what did you get hide something in there?"
Yeah, she says something
And
similar to me one of my other loops. Yeah, that's right.
and then I grabbed the pocket watch and then she's like, I can't deal with this right now. Like I'm leaving. And so she leaves the apartment.
Oh,
And
damn.
I did this right at the beginning. So I thought, well, that's interesting. So maybe the cop is going to show up without her being there, and that's going to give me different options. But the cop came early. And
Oh,
so like she's leaving and she encounters the cop in the elevator. Like as she goes to the hall and she opens the elevator and so you can hear their dialogue from outside of the hall.
okay.
And then the cop comes in and it goes through the whole rigmarole that's we've played out a dozen times at this point. And then the only other thing was since I had the watch on me, I tried I tried to give the watch to the cop, and so I told him that I have the watch on me, and then he just takes it from me and then he chokes me out.
Ah, jeez. Okay.
Yeah. And so the second time around, I decided, okay, I'm gonna try to do the dialogue, convincing her again. So I grabbed the present and I grabbed the watch correctly this time with the door closed. And then I go to talk to the wife and I go to the dialogue option and I realize, oh, I don't even have to mess with the present or the watch because if I click prove that you're in a time loop, you can just say, I just repeat this story about how her father really died that she had told me previously. And so that's just immediately, that's something that I wouldn't know unless I was in a time loop.
Okay. Yeah.
So she kind of gives, a little bit more information, not as much as you got at your point, but she talks about how she'd never been hit before. her dad was kind of a gun nut, and the watch was her grandfather's, and it was supposed to have been passed down to her. So now it kind of was in a way. And she mentions that she hates the Watts, but it's the only thing that she has of her father's. And then I kind of ran out of dialogue options. Like I thought there would be something else, like talking about the cop. All that was still grayed out dialogue, so that
Mm.
wasn't anything new. And so I just kind of left the conversation, and I like I was kind of at a loss, and so I think in that one I tried hiding in or no, in the first one I tried hiding in the closet. So I did
Mm.
see, whenever the cop came back in with the wife, they had their kind of back and forth while I was still in the closet a bit. And in this one, it was again just still the same rigmarole with the cop. And I think I think I tried to give him the Polaroid again, but that didn't work. He just doesn't
You
want to
kept,
see it and
yeah.
punches me into the next loop.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, I feel like I've got nothing new at this point. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna try to drug the wife and get the cop to shock himself and knock himself out. So I tried to do that. And that one, I kept struggling with that too. So like the first time I I grabbed the mug that was next to the sink, and then I go fill that up, and then I set it down on the table because previously whenever I had done that, she would drink the water from the table. But
Hmm.
instead, she grabs the empty mug from the end table and fills that up with water and drinks it. And so I'm like, really? And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna, try, I'm not gonna try and make her switch mugs. So I just went out the front door to reset the loop right away.
Okay.
And so I tried again. And this time, whenever I went to go put the mug on the table, my controller like slipped, I guess. And so he drank that. So I drank it instead.
Oh,
And he's like, and he's get the dialogue. I don't think this is a good
this is a good
idea.
idea.
So
Yes.
I'm like, really? And so I go out the out the door again to reset it. And I try a third time.
Oh
And I did
man.
everything right this time.
Okay.
She drinks the water with the sleeping pills. She goes in the bedroom, gets passed out. I hide in the closet. Cop comes in. He gets shocked by the light switch, and then he just says, "Damn light switch," and he doesn't get knocked out.
Oh no. Oh no.
And so I tried to talk to him again, and he still wouldn't listen. So I'm like, "Ah, do I want to try this a third time or a fourth time?" Or so at that point, I'm just like, that's fine. I'm just gonna save it for the next time, and
Okay.
maybe look up to see if there's something specific that needs to be done in order to get the cop, or if it's just like random, like if
I'm
he
starting to
has a
think it is
chance.
random. I'm starting to think it is random because we're going down two completely different paths here.
I'm not super surprised that we got to an ending already. And then, did you try like what whenever you went like did you get like a game over screen? Like did you get a chance to like continue or
It kind of like did the like it did like like a fadeaway thing, and then I think credits started coming up, and then I just turned it off because I had to do another show like kind of
okay.
immediately. So I didn't
Yeah.
get to like, because I know some video games will tell you like ending one of three or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
so I didn't get to see any of that. So I was gonna ask you, what do you want me to do for the next time? You want me to just like do my same save file, see what happens? You want me to start a new one? Like, what did you want me to do from this point?
I mean, I think, it's at your point, and I think I'm at the point too that, I don't know if I'm gonna, I don't think know if I'm going to personally look up how to get different endings myself just yet. But
Okay.
if you want to look up how to get different endings, I'm okay with you doing that.
Okay.
Since you did get one ending, I think I am going to at least look up to see if I can, if the cop getting knocked out is random or if there's something specific that you have to do.
Okay.
I think I am going to at least kind of look that up and see if me going through my way, if I get, something different or if I get pretty much the same ending that you got.
Okay.
So I'm going to, try to avoid looking at how to get different endings myself just yet and see which, if the path that I'm on gets me the same ending or if I get a different ending
Yeah.
or if, I might try to do things like slightly different to see if I, get something different. But, I think we're getting closer to the end. I think I told you before for, my goal is to have 12 episodes of this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
this, we've got, uh, five more.
Yep.
And, fingers crossed, we have something special for the last episode.
Yep.
Um, so I think four, potentially just four more gameplay episodes.
Yep.
Um, so I think that's kind of a good place for us to go, and I think we can get four more episodes out of this.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll give it a shot and see what I find out and what happens after this. Maybe I can trigger a different ending or something.
Yeah. Uh, so I think we are already kind of winding down on this first part of the season.
Yeah.
It's been fun and hopefully
Yeah.
like I said, fingers crossed. I'm not gonna reveal the details because I know telling people yes, this is gonna happen, and then if it
Yeah.
falls through, it's like that kind of sucks. But
That
fingers
happens a lot.
crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed we got something special in the works for the final episode. So
Yes.
hopefully that works out.
Yep.
But thank you as always for joining me on this journey through 12 minutes.
Hmm.
And again, why don't you take a moment and let people know, what else you got going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a podcast network called Rabbit Hole Podcast. I guess it's an unofficial official home of nostalgia podcasts. We talk about the past a lot. Movies, TV shows, music, like you name it, we'll talk about it. Lot of different great shows there to be found over at rabbitholepodcast.com.
And as always, I'm Bubbawheat, and you can find me on social media where I'm at Bubbawheat. I am most active these days on Threads, so that's the best place to follow my projects and what I'm doing. I also have a Facebook group. It's Time to Rewind, a time loop group, and you can join that to discuss episodes of this show as they come out, and keep up to date with what's coming out in the future, what I'm going to be doing for future seasons, and just it's a place to share anything time loop related, memes, news, reviews of other time loop movies and TV episodes. It's all welcome there. So until next time.